Hello everybody, today we are going to tell you about amazing friendships between animals and humans. Forget horror stories about cruelty of wild predators or narrow-mindedness of birds, which are apparently not able to feel affection and devotion. We are going to dispel your doubts, because on our list, we have an amazing bond of a man with an African lion, a huge python, a pelican, and many other creatures. Though werewolves do not exist, Sean Ellis, an English naturalist, will always remain a werewolf. He loved these animals so much that he denied the blessings of civilization and lived 3 years in a pack of wolves. To make the predators admit him, he imitated all their habits, ate the same food, slept on the ground, did not wash himself, and howled at the moon. In 2005, Sean took care of 3 wolf cubs orphans whose parents had been killed by hunters, and founded a wolf center in Devonshire, Great Britain. Now he has 17 animals in his proper pack. Being a world-famous zoologist and a man of the house, he still has authority with his tailed brothers as their 2-legged leader. An American woman, Janice Haley, has managed to make a conquest of huge and furry Bengal tigers and became a real mother for them. About 20 years ago, the first tiger cub was born in her garden in Orlando, Florida. She nursed him with a special mixture and gave herself the name of Mother of Tigers. For now, Janice, together with her husband and daughter, is looking after a huge white male named Saber, who weighs moreover 600 pounds. Despite the frightening size of the predators, not only does the woman enter the cage, but she lies with them for hours, enjoying and stroking their sharp-clawed paws. The friendship between an African lion and a man has lasted for more than 14 years already. 70 years old, Frikkie van Solms has become a tutor and the best friend for Zion, a lion born in southern Africa. The lion cub was taken away from his mother because other male lions could have killed him. Then the lion supervisor decided to look after Zion. As a result of the tutelage, the composed predator has become a real milksop. He loves warm hugs and walks from his friend, during which Frikkie has to take off his shoes so that the capricious lion won't be disturbed with shuffling, though he lets him hold his tail. Tippi de Grey, a little French girl born in Namibia, spent her youth among the most dangerous animals of southern Africa. The girl's parents were freelance wildlife photographers. They traveled across the African savanna looking for unique frames. Befriending many wild animals, Tippi shared the destiny of Mowgli, a character of Kipling. An elephant taboo became her best friend. They met each other when she was 1 year and a half. The elephant was hugging her carefully and was flapping annoying flies away from her. When they wanted to play, he put her on his back. Tippi was playing freely and easily with a leopard nicknamed J&B. Strange as it may seem, finding her feet was more difficult for her than to become a friend of wild animals. She spent 10 amazing years in the company of banded mongooses, chameleons, ostriches, and other wild animals. Certainly such an unusual story couldn't be under the radar. A documentary film on her experiences, The World According to Tippi, was released in 1997. Cambodian wildlife counts more than 240 species of reptiles, most of which are like pets for the local population. Still, the friendship between a boy and a huge python is amazing. When our hero was 3 months old, his father found a snake of 1.5 meters in his bassinet. It was decided not to kill the wild snake, but to bring it back in the jungle. But the incident happened again, twice, and then it was decided to keep the importunate reptile at home. The boy and his pet python, nicknamed Lucky, have been inseparable for about 7 years already. The latter can be proud of the length of 5 meters and the weight of 100 kilograms. It can well swallow its master in full, but it doesn't do that and eats only chicken and duck meat. The boy says it is like a sister for him that he never had. As it turns out, Lucky is a female. We couldn't help including the female gorilla Coco in our list. You know, she has a unique talent. She can communicate with people using sign language. As it has been found out in a research study of scientists of the Stanford University, Coco is able to understand more than 1,000 signs of the American Sign Language and about 2,000 English words. Easily describing her feelings, Coco likes dreaming. Once she called herself a nice bird, declaring that she could fly, but later on she confessed to making a fool. Coco has been looking after 2 kittens for more than 30 years, already showing true mothering. The first kitten was given to her due to her request as the 13th birthday present. Since then, she had remained faithful to them. This poor bird strayed from its fellows during a big storm. The pelican was found by a worker of a wild animal park. Not only has the man nursed the bird, but he has taught him to fish. The point is that pelicans are members of a flock and learn to hunt only following its fellows. Our hero did not have any examples to follow, so his savior, Jeffrey, took him fishing with him every morning until it could hunt on its own. The friends still spend a ton of time together. They like kayak fishing most. Our next heroes are Jim and Jimbo. Their YouTube video has millions of views. Everyone wants to know what happens when a man is hugging a huge bear. You don't need to worry, because this friendship has been lasting more than 20 years. Jim Kovalchik, the director of the Orphaned Wildlife Center for Injured Wild Animals, and his first nursling, a 700-kilogram bear Jimbo, have been inseparable since their first meeting. Jim found Jimbo as a bear cub in a forest, injured and incapable to survive in the wild. His wife Susan and him have nursed and handled the bear. This way, Jimbo became a real pet. He doesn't want to live in the wild without his human family. Now there are 11 more bears on rehabilitation in the center. Upon recovery, they will be able to return to a life in the wild, if they want. Our next story took place back in 1969. It is so touching that we couldn't miss it. It happened in London. Two friends, John Rendall and Anthony Ace Bork, bought a little lion cub in a shop of rare and exotic animals. They called him Christian and fostered him like a regular pet. The lion was growing very fast, and soon it became clear that he couldn't stay at home. So the men made the difficult decision to let him go. The lion cub Christian was set at large in an African natural reserve. A year after that, the friends came back to see their beloved nursling. In spite of prohibitions and warnings that the lion had forgotten his friends and is now controlled by natural instincts, Christian recognized John immediately and rushed to give him his lion hugs. He was also glad to hug Ace. Everyone knows faithful Hachiko, but the bird we're going to tell you about is worth admiration too. Every year he covers about 8,000 kilometers to meet his savior. The amazing friendship between the man and the penguin started many years ago. An inhabitant of a small village near Rio de Janeiro, João Pereira de Souza found a tiny young penguin covered with petroleum on the shore. He cleaned his feathers, fed him, and looked after him every day until the penguin gained strength. Having spent 11 months together with João, Jingjing, as the man had called him, swam away in an unknown direction. However, he came back a couple of months later. During the last few years, this faithful penguin is off in the sea for several months, but he always comes back and spends most of his penguin life with his savior.